Good afternoon, students. Okay, yesterday we discussed about the connectivity of the database and we just tried some small examples, right? Today we will try with creating one new project and we will register for that. So we will save that data in the database and we will retrieve that data and show it in the table. Okay, so let me wait for 2 to 3 minutes till anyone joins. It's my hope. Okay, I will wait for 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, then let's start the class. Let me open my notepad. Yeah. Yesterday we have written how to connect with the database, and we have connected with the database, and we have discussed about how to execute the queries. Okay, what statements we are using to execute the queries, and how these statements are gonna get you the data from a database. Okay, and whatever the response data you have in the result set, okay, the result set will hold the data from the queries, from the result of that query after executing it. So that data will be each row. Okay, so when you iterate through the each row, you will get the every details of a particular person or a product or any of the data. Okay, so yesterday we have done that. Now today let me 1 second, let me share my screen with them. Now today we will discuss about we have some tags like a static tags and some dynamic tags. We use that tags to include the static content and the dynamic content in our pages. So just forward to discuss about those tags because those are very important. When in the every page we don't need to write the connecting to the database, okay, so we can write the connecting code in a one file and we can include that file in whatever file you need to use the database, okay, connection. So you can use that file by using just including that file, okay. So let me show you that static includes and dynamic and forwarding tags, I think. Yeah, 1 second. Like we have different types of direct to. I think my data is disconnected. 1 second. Hello. Yeah. Now it's here. We have different tags. Okay. So those are the direct to tags and action tags. We call some tags. Okay. Those are also like include and the forwarding, and we have some. We use mostly the include and the forward tags. Okay. We have different types of tags actually. So we have the direct to tag and action tags. Okay, we mostly use the action tags and the direct to tags, and the direct to tags are one we use mostly is like scriptlet and direct to whatever the directory you have to give and that attribute. Okay, attribute of that tag and the value. Okay, and the value. So some of the examples of the directive tags are yesterday I said, right, in our when we created the page, okay, there you can, there you will get like this, okay, page directive, okay, which means it dependence attributes or like a scripting language, whatever the language you are using, and error encoding and buffering, so all those things. And we have like a scriptlet tag. Another one is a tag lib, okay, tag lib. So this is a one of another directive tag. Okay, so this will declares a like a library. Okay, tagging a library and containing like custom actions used in that page. Okay, and another tag we have in the directives are include tag. Okay, include include. So this is mainly used for including any JSP file during your translation phase. Okay, when you want to include any certain code of lines of JSP file in your particular page, in the present page, so you can use this include directive tag. Okay, so we have different types of attributes there: buffer, autoflush, content type. And if you want to import, okay, you can use your import attribute and whatever the value if you are importing the util package of the Java. Okay, so you need to use like this. Okay, so you need to use a directive tag. So here I have used the attribute as an import. So just like import, we have different types of attributes. So informations, okay, and language and the sessions. So all these tags we can use in the page directive tags. Okay, in the directive tags and the include tag, whatever the include tag we have used here. Okay, this include tag will when you included any file by using, here we use a file, okay, file attribute, and that relative URL like the address of that file, okay, address of that particular file, address of that particular file. So this actually the include file dot relative file, what it does means, so when you want to include a file during any phase of the present page, okay, then this directive tag will tells the container to merge the whatever the code is presented in this file, whatever the file address you have given in that file, whatever the content is there from external files actually. So you will have different files, and that you, when you want to include that file, you need to use the include file. So why I am saying this include file, because here in we are trying to connect with the database, okay, every time in our project. So in each and every, so there is no need to write everywhere for the connections. Okay, in one file you take connection file and you can connect with the database. Okay, so that file you can include it in whichever page you want to connect with the database. So this is no this is like minimal work to like basically example by is reusable code. Okay, so for the reusable codes you can use this include page directive tags. Okay, include page directive tags. So let me give you example here. So I have created connected file. Okay, connection file. Now I will I gave the name of that file as a connect. So here connect.jsp file. Okay, connect.jsp and scriptlet type 10. This is how simply you can just included that connection of the database in your present page or wherever you want. Okay, you can include it that. So for that I am saying this in directive tags. Okay, these are important tags. Now come to the action tags. Okay, so action tags are also just same like this, but the action tags will what it will do is just like same this syntax itself. Okay, this XML syntax itself, but we have different tags here. Okay, we have like a JSP include tag. Okay, so here this is a directive tag, the scriptlet and at the rate include, but here we have the JSP include. So this is a one type where you can just include the time page at a requested time. Okay, the page you need to request that page. So this includes file at the time will be requested. Okay, so action tags, and we use the action tag more. One more is an JSP forward. Okay, we have the forward tag, and we have like a JSP body and JSP text and JSP element. But in our process, we mostly use a JSP include and JSP forward. So forward will, it will forward whatever the request you are doing to a new page. Okay, so you need to give the file address for this also. Okay, so here we will encode it like attribute as a page. Okay, in that page we need to give the address of that particular forwarding to a new page address. Okay, and let me give you syntax for this for the action tags. And action tags is just same like that directive, but here instead of the scriptlet we use the JSP semicolon include and the page of that. Okay, the page of that and the URL of that targeted page, and you can give one more attribute also. So here the page is nothing but an attribute and the URL is in a value. So here the relative whatever the URL of the page is you want to give, that will be included it here. Okay, in this page URL, in this page URL, and another we have flush attribute. Okay, we didn't use this, but why we are using this flush attribute means, like, it is in a boolean attribute. Okay, it will determines whether the resources is included. Okay, it if buffer flush before it is included, before, like, if here we will give the values as a true, boolean values. Okay, true or false. Okay, so this is in a boolean attribute, we will call it as a boolean attribute also. So this is an a syntax for the include tag, and just like this we have the syntax for the JSP forward also, just same. JSP forward is JSP forward, and here also we use the page and the same relative URL. Okay, for where you want to direct that. Okay, we have only single attribute in the forward, but in the include we have the two. So we mostly use the page itself, we don't use this flush. Okay, so here placing the URL, you can just navigate to that page. Okay, you can whatever the action you are writing, okay, in that code where you have using this forward tag. Okay, it will terminate whatever the remaining action is there, and then it will forward it request to the another resource which you have given. Okay, static page, another JSP page, or another JSP, like a Java servlet. Okay, we have the Java servlets also, so that is a different content. So we mostly use these tags, okay, action tags and the directive tags to include the any files. Now let me go to this, okay, let me open my Eclipse and we will create one new project. Everybody understand, right? See, this file is in a static include, means it will use the static content at a translations time. Okay, it will, what it means it will merge whatever the content of that particular file is present in that JSP. Okay, before compilation itself, before compilation itself it will be included in that. Okay, so like it is best for like a common headers and a common footers, or for a common navigations, or for a common code. So when you want to reuse your code, like a static content code, you can use this include file. Okay, and these action tags include page, and these are the dynamic includes. Okay, it is a dynamic includes. This will includes the output of the JSP at the runtime. Okay, at the runtime. So it will be useful when you want to change the content like frequently. Okay, session specific sessions. Okay, we have the session contents, so for every 5 seconds, 3 seconds. So, and we have the forwarding, and this is a just page for forwarding. Like if you want to request any page in the middle of any content, okay, you can use this forward tag, and the remaining code will not execute. It will directly send the request to the another targeted page. So this is a forward page. I think my, yeah. Okay, let me share my Eclipse now. Now I think my page is visible. Yeah. Let me close all these things. So we have done it, right? Close all, and let me create one more new project. Okay, dynamic web project. As you know, what we can give, practical database. Okay, database project. Next, you need to check this box and click on finish. Okay, now this is a practical database project. Source main web app. Now first let me create one page. Okay, let me create one header page. Okay, so this header is means is nothing but where you get the title, or like we are writing, right? We are using h2 tags and everything. So like welcome to the course, or like welcome to our site, or student informations. We are taking all the header 2 tags, right? So for that we will create one separate file, and we will include that in our main file. Okay, so let me give this as a header dot jsp. Okay, header dot jsp, and inside this, uh, let me remove everything and just give it a h2 tag. You all remember, right? The h2 tag, let me give as a welcome to uh, customized site. Okay, I'm just giving one header. Let me do one thing. Let it be here, and let me do it here. Welcome to our customized site. Okay, now, so this header I have created. Without this also you can, okay, you can save it. And next, let me create one footer file also. Okay, in the footer it will display. So I will take the footer file, footer.jsp, and in this footer file, let me give the key and 20 25 copyright. You know, right? Everything in every application we use this copyright. Okay, in the below of that content, and just give me the CSS. I will just using the inline CSS. Okay, if you know about the CSS, you can. And 325 copyright reserved. Let me give copyrights by technologies. Okay, so this is one another file footer, and after that let me create one index file. We need an index file, index.jsp. So in this file, let me create one form. Okay, now I have created header and footer. So if I want to include that file here, like see in the header what we have, welcome to our customizer site. In the footer, let me remove this. Is it okay? Okay, if you want to use that, you can use that also. Without that also, it would works fine. Okay, so now I want to include that header in the my first. Okay, welcome to our customized site. So now what I will do is I will use the direct to tag. Okay, I will use a direct to tag of include tag and the file, and with whatever the file you want to include, that file has to be included in this. That file address has to be given here. Okay, which means the header.jsp. Okay, and we have the footer tag also. So that I need to include it in the footer of my page. Include file is equal to footer.jsp. So these are known as a directive tags. So whatever the content is present in the header and the footer, that data will be merged in this code. Okay. So then after this, I want to take the form. Okay. I want to take the form. And in this form, I'm taking the action attribute and the method. You know what method type is? Okay, always post. Okay, so now here let me take one name and input. Okay, and the type of that is text, and the name equals to name itself. Let me give the user name and the required field also. Okay, so just like a name, let me take the email and submit button. Okay, type equal to submit. So here we don't need all these things. We need just value equals to register. Okay, and just taking the register and let me use a PR tag. PR tag here. Instead of that, let me take as email and your email. Okay, and save this. So when I click on the submit button, okay, when I click on the submit button, okay, this is register, right? When I click on this submit register button, okay, it has to, the data has to send to another page. So that page has to be like a submit. Let me take as a information submit dot JSP page. So here we need to create another page, info submit dot JSP. I think I'm going speed, so don't worry. I have explained all these things, forms. I have taken 2 days. Okay, so I'm just going speed. When we are in the database phase, I will explain slowly. Okay, so here for submit. So here we will retrieve whatever the data is entered by the user by the names of the parameter names. Okay, so in the request body. Now in the submit here we have, right? So now let me retrieve the names. Okay, string name equals to, we use the request dot get parameter. Okay, parameter of that particular name. So what is the particular name of that? You name, and just like this we need to retrieve the email. Okay, this is a email. So now what we need to do, we have retrieval, email and the name. So what we need to do, we need to connect to the database and then we need to execute the query to insert into the data, and then we need to get the message as if the data was inserted successfully. So to connect the database, I am just creating one more file. Okay, in that file let me create the connecting data file, like let me give the db.jsp file. Okay, db.jsp file. Let me remove everything here. Okay, let me remove everything and let me import. So this is an attribute import, and let me import java.sql dot star. Okay, refresh it and let me give it. Okay, now here we need to write the connection for the database. Okay, use a try and exceptions method, because if you have any errors in the connection of the SQL also, you can get that error. Okay, so better to use the try and exceptions in each case. Okay, wherever you are using the code, Java code, you need to use. Okay, database connection. We can concat that message to it, get message. Okay, now here we can connect with the database. So what is that connection? Let me create that connection call equals to, first I'm just creating connection call. Then what we need to do, we need to load the class by using class dot for name. Okay, for name of string. So what is that string? Com dot mysql dot cj dot jdbc. Okay, jdbc dot driver. Okay, equals to, we have the driver manager, right? Driver, what is the con actually? It is in a connection. So driver manager dot get connection, and whatever the connection we have, just we created yesterday we have created one, right? So that database itself I'm taking. Let me wait. Let me select the database itself. Whatever the database, this is in a URL, right? So let me take this itself, and what is that? Yeah, here. Let me give it here. Root. Same database. I'm taking same database. Now the connection was successful. So when you want to connect, you need to use this DB file. Okay. You can use this DB file. So info submission, I am taking that include file. Okay. I am including that particular file here. Include file equals to db.jsp page. Okay, I have included. Then after that, okay, you have connected with the database. Now after that, what we need to do, we need to use the prepare statement. Okay, prepare statement ps equals to, in our db we have con, right? So con connection dot js, sorry, connection dot prepare statement. Okay, see now it's showing you because we have included. So if we remove this, okay, if we remove this, see it's showing you error. See, con cannot be resolved. If you have placed that, okay, so the error was gone. So are you getting right? When you are, when you want to include that file, okay, so when you want to use a repeated code in the headers and the footers, or in the case of the like a database connections, you can simply use a directory tags. Now here for the query we can write insert into the users. Yesterday we have used same, right? So let me take that query itself and the database also, and let me write only email, and here the values we need to place the two placeholders, and we need to set the values for those. Set string of 1 comma name, and ps dot set string 2 comma email. Okay, now we have set it to, oh, let me once again, let me open my SQL. So let me keep it ready. Mm, what is the database name we have created in this way? Let me see it here. DB, college DB, right? Yeah, college DB. Let me drop this column, and okay. Now where we are here, right? We are inserted, and why I'm using here rows, because when you executed this query, it will give you the output in the in. Okay, it will give you the output in the integer format. Now just if in the case of rows are greater than 0, okay, greater than 0, which means the data was registration. Okay, that data was successfully, let me take this out dot print ln registration successfully. Okay, registration successful, and we need to redirect him. Okay, redirecting, we need to redirect him to the another page. We need to redirect him to the another page, which is nothing but the, let me take it as a display. Okay, or we can say the home page. Okay, registration successful. Yeah, for those we use scriptlet tags again. Okay, like we need to end that code, Java code here, and we need to write some JSP code. So JSP tags, JSP include tag, and the page, and whatever the page you want to, like a home page, right? Homepage dot JSP slash. Okay, done. And if it is not executed correctly, So just select the same, and we need to give the message as, okay, we need to give a message like failed to register, okay, failed to register. And after everything, I want to close my connection dot close, connection dot close. Okay, so here see giving me error because the home page, if it is failed to register, uh, let me go to the index page itself, index.jsp, because in the index.jsp page itself we have the registration page, right? So I am just, if the in case if it is failed, I am sending back to the same register failed. So if it is registered successful, I am going to the home page. So let me create a new file here, web app JSP home page. Okay, here in my home page, what I will do, I will include that, okay, I will include that database, include file equals to db.jsp. So now what I will do is I will retrieve the data and display that data in the table column, in the table column. So if you want to use a table, you need to use a table, okay, and let me give the table border as one border. Okay, sorry, we don't need to, the classes are from Bootstrap, everything. Okay, now we have created one table. Okay, and we are also connected with the database also. We also connected with the database. Mm, uh, let me create one T header. Okay, T header. So in that header, what I want to give is the table row, the table row, and the whatever the header I want to give. I want. Let me give the header as name. Okay, we use a name and the email, okay, and the email. In the table body we need to display the data, okay, in the table body we need to display that particular data. So inside the table body I want to write the Java, okay, I want to write the Java code. So whatever the Java code we want to write, we want to use the try and catch exceptions, because if the error occurs, we can, okay, we can redirect that page, or we can display particular message, okay, like how dot print ln and retrieval error message is, okay. So here let me concatenate that with e dot get message. Okay, here you need to write the code to retrieve the data. So here I'm using the prepare statement. Okay, so we have connected with the database, and then we need to write a query to get the data, whatever the data he has registered. PS equals to con dot prepare statement. Inside this, what we need to write? We need to write, we use the select keyword to retrieve the data from the database. Select asterisk, asterisk is nothing but everything from that table. What is the table name? User info. Okay, whatever the data is present in that user info, we can retrieve it. Okay, when we are executing this code, okay, so the data will be, it will give you some response. So to store that holds, which holds the data, result set will hold the data. We need to create the object of that result set, ps dot execute query. So now the data will be stored in this rs object. So we need to go through each and every row by looping it. Okay, I am using the while rs dot next. Okay, while rs dot next. So inside this loop, we can retrieve that data. So inside this, we have to use the JSP code, whatever the JSP code. So we need to end the Java code here, right? So whatever the Java code we are writing, we need to write it in the scriptlet tags. So that reason I have ended and open. In between this open and end tags, I will use the tr of that body. Okay, table body row. Inside the table body, we need to write the table data. So that data we can show by the expression tag. Nothing but expression tag. So here td, what is the object? Where is the data is present? In the rs dot get the string of, as I said, you can give the name of that column. Okay, name of the column, or you can give the column number, like see, that is a third column. I think the email is a third column, so you can just simply give the third column here. Okay, after everything you can just simply close that con dot close connection. You can close that connection. You can close that connection. So it is simple. Now let me run this and show you. Okay, run as, I think it will be, okay. Let me share the screen to you. Is second, yeah, share is that. Okay, now see our project is running. Okay, now here see I didn't written any code in our index page. Okay, whatever the page we are running, which page it will run when we run the project, the first file, which is nothing but index file. But I didn't written anything like a welcome to our customer site or a copyright by the rag techo. Okay, I didn't use any code, but I just simply included that code in my file by writing in another. I'm creating that file and using that same header and footer everywhere. If you want to use everywhere, you can use that file by simply using directory tags. So I just use that those things. Now here let me give my name. Okay, and email. Okay, now just simply click on the register button. Okay, see what is the error. It's a page 16 page. User info con is null. Okay, 1 second, let me check it here. Why giving error? DB. Okay, info. Hmm. Okay, let me make some details here. In which file zone first? Refresh this. Let me show one time. Oh my god. My error. Let me put this java dot sql dot hash here also. Take this file, import java sql dot start. Server error is coming. JDBC. Okay, sorry. I think we didn't include the libraries in our code. Okay, as I explained in yesterday's. Okay, so in this library, okay, in the library, we need to use a MySQL connector file. So that is not there. So let me copy that library from the previous class. Here we use, right, MySQL connector file. So we are missing in our library of a project. Okay, let me refresh this and 1 second. Let me recheck this. I think I have to run it again or just refresh this again times and see the email register. Now it's working, I think. Yeah, see, the registration is successful and redirecting. Okay, this is a message and it comes into the one other page. Okay, so this is how we need to insert and retrieve the data from the user and display it to the user. Okay, now here retrieving the data. So when you are retrieving the data, you need to use a query as a select. Okay, select everything from the user info and the result set. By using the expression tags, you need to place that data in a particular manner. Okay, so this is about today's class. Okay, so we retrieved. In the tomorrow's class uh, we will update that data and we will delete the data, how to delete and how to update that data. Okay, thank you. And if you have any doubts, you can just ping me or you can attend the class. Thank you.